Hello, fourth grade. In today's video, we are going to talk about how to find equivalent fractions. Equivalent fractions look different, but have the same value. So if we have the fraction 1/2 and 2/4, those are equivalent fractions. If I eat 1/2 of a pizza and you eat 2/4 of a pizza, we are eating the same amount. However, you have smaller pieces because your pizza has been cut into fourths and mine has only been cut into 2 pieces. So they look different, but they name the same value. With equivalent fractions, I need you to remember the golden rule of fractions. Do unto the top as you do to the bottom. So the numerator and denominator will increase or decrease by the same amount. In the fraction 1/2 or in any fraction, your top number is the numerator. That is the part being counted. The bottom number is the denominator down. Okay, that is your total. That is your in all. And these are equal pieces. So this would be 1 out of 2 pieces. All right, we have different types of fractions. 3/4, your numerator is smaller than the denominator. When the numerator is smaller, that is a proper fraction. It is less than 1 whole. We would have to have 4/4 to have 1 whole, but we only have 3/4. So that is less than 1 whole. All right, an improper fraction has a bigger numerator than denominator. I like to call it top heavy. Your top number will be bigger than the bottom. Those fractions, the improper fractions, are greater than 1 whole. 3/3 would equal 1 whole, but we have 4/3, so we have greater than 1 whole. So this means you have 4 1/3 pieces. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 1/3 pieces. 3/3 equals 1 whole. And then there's a 1/3 left over. So this 4/3, this improper fraction, becomes a mixed number. 1 and 1/3. 4/3 and 1 and 1/3 are equivalent fractions. Then we have mixed numbers. 2 and 3/4. So if we have fourths, it would take 4/4 to equal 1 whole. We have 2. Our whole number is 2. So 1 whole is 4/4. That takes care of one of those. We have another 1 whole. So that's another 4/4. 1 whole and 1 whole. That's where this 2 comes from. Then we have 3 1/4 pieces. 1, 2, 3. So right now it's a mixed number. We can change it to an improper fraction. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 1/4 pieces. So we have 11/4. We have 11 1/4 pieces. So we have 11/4. So 2 and 3/4 is equivalent to 11/4. All right, you guys have dry erase sleeve number 11. We're going to practice finding some equivalent fractions. All right, let's say we have 2/3. We are going to find some equivalent fractions for 2/3. And we have practiced this a bunch of times in class. One way to do that is to skip count by your numerator and skip count by your denominator. So we're counting by twos. So we have 2. If we're counting by twos, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. And we could go on and on and on. Remember, multiples go on forever. All right, now we're counting by threes. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. So 4/6 is equivalent to 2/3. 6/9 is equivalent to 2/3. 8/12, 10/15, 12/18, all of these fractions are equivalent to 2/3. And the reason this works is because we are increasing the numerator and denominator by the same amount. Do unto the top as you do to the bottom. 2 times 2 is 4, so that means we would have to multiply the denominator by 2. 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6, and 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 4 is 12. So we are multiplying the numerator and denominator by the same amount. And then another way to think about this, if we have 2/3, to find an equivalent fraction, you are multiplying your fraction by a fraction that is equivalent to 1 whole. You're using the identity property. So a fraction that's equal to 1 whole would be 2 halves. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6. 4/6 is equivalent to 2/3. All right, let's do 2/3 times another fraction that's equal to 1 whole, 5/5. 2 times 5 is 10. 3 times 5 is 15. Different ways to solve the same problem. 10/15 would be equivalent to 2/3. All right, let's try 3/4. So we're going to skip count by the numerator, which is 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. Skip count by your denominator. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, and 36. These are all fractions that are equivalent to 3/4. Remember, you're multiplying it by a fraction that is equal to 1 whole, so 3/3. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 3 is 12, so 9/12. There it is. Now, we can use this to help us find a common denominator when we're adding and subtracting. if you start right here and you go this way, we're going to find the least common denominator, the smallest denominator that they have in common. Well, this is a 4. Do we have 4 as a denominator up here? No. We have 8. Do we have 8 as a denominator here? No. We have 12. Do we have 12 as a denominator here? Yes. So if we were adding 2/3 and 3/4, we could use their equivalent fractions with the like denominators in order to solve that problem. So the least common denominator would be 12. One more thing, guys, don't forget that you have equivalent fractions on your multiplication table. If you're trying to find equivalent fractions for 2/3, use your row of 2's for your numerator and your row of 3's for your denominator. 2/3 is equivalent to 4/6, to 6/9, to 8/12, to 10/15. What if your numerator and denominator are not side by side on the multiplication table? It still works. Let's say you are looking for 3/5. You just have to make sure you stay in the same row. 3/5 would be equivalent to 6/10, 9/15, 12/20, and on and on and on, all the way across your table. All right, guys, take care. I'll see you in the next one.